The Taillight Years and Radio Titanic on WRC 88.7 FM, Elmhurst College Radio. We are here live with the Taillight Years of West Chicago. We have Brian on lead vocal and guitar, Kevin on drums, and Jacob on lead guitar and backing vocals. Gentlemen, what is going on?
Hi, how's it going? It's going pretty good today. How about you?
Good, man. Rainy.
Yeah,
very sure. Dampening. Damn damp out there. But no, gentlemen, you guys were on here, what, about a year ago, right? We interviewed you guys, something like that. So I guess a lot's been going on, not I guess, but a lot has been going on. You guys released a new album in June of 2012, June of this year, titled All Night Forever.
Right, yeah, it was our debut album. We spent, I remember last time we were on here, we were actually talking about like how we were beginning to write for it. And
right.
After a few months, it actually took quite a while, and we finally got around to releasing it this June, so pretty excited about that.
That is really awesome, and that's a 10-track album, and that's your first album that came out.
Right.
And it's available on iTunes for purchase and possibly delivery. Very, very cool. So what are your thoughts on the album as far as, because I remember talking to you guys a year back, and I can't believe first off it's been a whole year, man.
Yeah.
The time is flying.
Fast.
Time is really, really flying. But like you mentioned, you guys were talking about how you're writing new songs for it, and I remember at the time you guys didn't have a very long catalog yet, right? When you guys were first on.
I remember we had put out an EP, like 5 songs, was it?
Yeah.
And just kind of like more rough recorded and recorded it real quick. And for this one, we really wanted to like sit down, like write it out, and really like spend a lot more time in the studio, like honing it and kind of making it something I don't know, close to a sound that we kind of wanted. And I think we were fairly successful with that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we're pretty proud of it actually.
Very awesome. And what is the sound that you guys were going for?
Oh, I don't know. It's tough. We have a lot of influences, so it's hard. I know like a lot of like kind of punk rock bands, so we're definitely going for like a louder, kind of faster sound, and but like not super punk. I mean, punk's kind of a gray area, like what is, what's not punk, and everyone's always disputing over that. But I don't know. I just something loud and fast, and something people can, I guess, relate to.
Just really, really quick. Sidebar here. What do you guys think of Blink-182's new album? Not that it's new, but it was new about a year ago.
Well, it's for a band to like be successful for so long, I feel like it's no matter what people say, I think just putting something out there again and continuing to write music is like a success in itself. And there are people that won't like it and people that will like it, and I think the people that don't like it have to understand when you're a band for so long, you have to you kind of have to adapt, and you're gonna want to change your sound. And I think it's acceptable, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
At least for me. So.
Right on. What do you think, man?
I don't know. I thought it was okay. I didn't like listen to it that much, but from what I've heard, I can't complain. I mean, it's better than us. So.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I really do not know, dude. That last song, which is Radio Titanic, was really, really, really good.
Oh, thanks, man.
Really, really good, man. Sounds like you guys are
older
rocking
ones. Yeah.
Now, where did you guys produce this album?
We had a friend of ours. He has a studio set up in his garage, and he calls it Visceral Records. So we did that there, and that's where we're recording our new EP that's coming out. We don't really have a release date. We're just kind of in the early process of writing it. So that's where we do all of our stuff.
Very, very cool. And this was your first time working there on the last album?
Yes.
Okay. Very, very, very cool. What kind of songs are you writing now?
I guess what I would say is it's similar to the album, but I think with this one we want to even go deeper, and with that one we want to write like something kind of like loud and fast and relatable. But with this one we still want to keep that energy, but we really want to kind of break it down into doing more technical things, harmonies, dynamics, harmonies, things that are like a bit more technical and really kind of like I don't know, letting ourselves loose creatively, I guess.
Yeah, these songs are a bit more complex. We kind of like the other songs like kind of like came together, but for these songs we kind of like sat down and figured out like what kind of sound we wanted, and like kind of like try to put it together like piece by piece so that it like all flows together instead of just like writing it and being like satisfied with like what we wrote. We're like really working hard to like give it like a more like mature sound, I guess.
Yeah.
Right on. So you're thinking deeper lyrics, more complex music.
Definitely. I know with this one, lyrically, I hadn't done this before on the album. We just finished writing all the songs for the EP, and what I did was I just got a notebook and wrote out all the lyrics, and like really like delved into like, okay, what I was saying here making sense, and changing words, and adding, taking out things, and like really just like looking at the piece of paper and trying to understand it myself before I finalize it and say, okay, this is what it's gonna be.
Right on. Now, who does a majority of the writing, or is it all kind of a trio effort kind of a thing?
It's all me.
He does the acoustic. He like writes it on acoustic and does the vocal and like vocal melody and stuff.
Mhm.
Then he sends it over to me, and I usually write like my lead part to it and
Okay.
whatever. And then we usually like come together as a band after I do that, and like kind of like put it together like all after like I have my lead written. Then from there he like can change the vocal melody or whatever. But once we have an idea of like what it's gonna sound like in the end.
Right.
We actually have a bassist that's not here today. He's working. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so it's not just trio. This is our drummer, and we have a bassist. So.
Yeah.
Was the bassist on here with you guys last time? Or
It was
No,
just us
couldn't
two.
make
last
It was
time.
just us. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, very very cool. And he's been with you the whole time too.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Well, and then does he ever write anything with you guys? Like, does he help collaborate as far as riffs or anything or?
Yeah, he definitely puts in his
Yeah.
input. I mean, he's a big time theory guy,
Yeah.
like
Okay,
music
yeah.
theory. So he really
Yeah,
like.
every band needs one.
Yeah, so he's always like, oh, it'd be really cool if we do like a third harmony here or a perfect fifth here, and he puts in that, which is I think really important to kind of add something, little something extra to the band.
Right on. And then Kevin just comes in and just rocks out. Or
Oh yeah,
Basically, I just sit back and hit the drums.
Cool, man.
Not much else to it.
Right on, dude. Right on. Now, going along with this last album, with your first, full-length album titled "All Night Forever," which came out this past June, I see that there's actually the title of the album "All Night Forever" is also a track off of the album.
Right.
Now, why is it that song, that the title of that tune became the title of the overall album itself?
I think that song really embodies the feel, especially lyrically for the album. That song was written about a very specific time, and usually, when I write lyrics, I don't like to do that. I like kind of keep it a little more general. But that was written about like a period of like 10 hours that happened,
Okay.
and it was kind of like I guess a time for me that was really just I don't know important or memorable, I guess. And the whole album's kind of about this, all night forever, like these experiences you have like at night that really like
lasts
kind of
all night, but
exactly, and kind of
with you forever, right?
yeah, exactly, kind of like I guess what eventually mold you in the person you're gonna be, and kind of the things you like figure out is, especially in our years, teenage years, you're really figuring out kind of like your opinions on things, and that night that the song's about, it really kind of I don't know. I feel like I grew a lot in that night, and we kind of decided to call the album that because we figured the album was kind of a growing process and kind of embodied the whole feeling.
Fit with what you wrote down.
Yeah.
Right on. So then what you're thinking then is the album is about, going along with All Night Forever, experiences that you kind of go through being in high school maybe, going from being, entering being 14 to leaving being 18.
Yeah.
And just kind of like how that process kind of turns you into who you're going to be, like
Yeah,
you said.
definitely.
And how it's going to help you to become the person that you're going to be, which is going to be album 2.
Right.
Talking about what's going on now.
Right.
That is really, really awesome, dude. So what do your friends / peers / classmates think of the album?
We've gotten pretty positive responses actually, and it's been pretty cool. We're really lucky to have a really loyal fan base, especially in the high school. And I think, bands like us, we have an advantage over some of these guys that are 19 and 20 in bands because they don't have that high school
Following.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on, yeah.
And we're lucky enough to have started early enough to kind of acquire that, and so we got a lot of people listening to it and whatnot, and we've had pretty positive responses. So I'm pretty satisfied with that, I'd say.
Yeah. And what are your own thoughts on the album?
What do you think?
It turned out pretty good. I mean, I'm a perfectionist, so I mean, I could always do something better, but in all, it came together pretty well. There was, everything, transitioned well, and, I don't know. I'm pretty satisfied with it. I think it came together well.
Excellent.
I mean, we're going to try to do better the next one, but,
Right.
I don't know, you always
Always
try to do
growing.
better, so.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like for the band that we were at that time, which even though it was only a year ago, a year ago we were starting to write the songs. So even though it came out in June, the songs were written almost like a year ago.
Mhm.
So for the band that we were and kind of the attitudes we had at the time, I think it really puts forth kind of the mindset we were in, and I would say I'm really satisfied with that. And I think now we're a different band than we were at that album, and I think with this new EP, that's really what we're gonna try to show, improve. But I mean, I'm definitely satisfied, and I know I have a blast playing the songs live still.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
They still feel fresh to me. So.
Right on. Awesome. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely pretty satisfied with it. It's basically compared to our first EP that we let out, it was definitely more mature. definitely moved forward with our music abilities, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool beans, man.
Makes sense.
Very, very cool. So then you guys put it out, you guys said early June.
Right.
Just to get specific into the actual month, I guess. So you guys had the whole summer to promote the album.
Right.
Yeah.
And you guys played shows for that, right? And passed it out
Yeah,
in the shows
for
and
sure.
all that.
Yeah.
How was that?
We had
It's always fun playing the new songs live.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. We actually had a couple pretty fun shows. We played a couple times at the Bottom Lounge this summer.
Yeah.
In the city. And actually, this past August, we had a headlining show there, which was really awesome. We sold a bunch of copies. We sold it like at the shows for like $2, $3, really cheap. And you know, that was a really fun experience having that kind of headlining experience, which we haven't really done so much, and we're hoping to do more. And I mean, the reason you write songs is, at least I think for us, is really to play them live.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of bands will go in the studio and like, all right, I want this song to be, you know, recorded, and that's kind of like what we're going for, is like a
Right.
recorded sound. And for us, we have kind of like louder songs, high energy songs, and we love playing them live. And when we write them, we keep that in mind, like, okay, well, is this gonna sound cool live? Are we gonna have fun
Yeah.
playing this?
Very
And I
cool.
think we're successful with that, and because I know I had a blast playing this. So.
Mhm.
Excellent, man. Excellent. Now, this 10-track album. Were there any songs on it that you didn't put on that were written like a year back? Or?
We cut a few.
Yeah,
I
there's
think.
always songs.
I mean,
that-
yeah, you always have to cut songs, or
Yeah,
else
of
you're just
course.
gonna be making a huge album that
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't do that. It
So
takes
then you
too
guys
long.
chose the songs that were just kind of thought fit better, or maybe
Yeah.
Right,
give
yeah.
it the best.
Yeah, whatever fit together the most, and whichever was, I don't know, like kind of more of the sound we were going for.
Yeah.
Because we had like songs that we liked, but if it didn't like necessarily fit with the song that would be like before or after it, because we kind of like try to make like the songs go in like a chronological order that like makes sense to go together and like
Yeah.
flow well into each other. So if you had a song that you really like, but it doesn't like fit in a place where it's supposed to be, then
Right.
you can't use it. And, I mean, there's always other songs you can use, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
And there's always the songs you don't end up liking after you
Yeah,
finalize them.
Especially there's the songs that like, I know a lot of them we would start writing and like really trying to force it and be like, all right, we really want this song to happen, and then like at some point you got to be like, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're forcing it too much. Let's
Yeah.
just, you know, start over.
And then you can always come back to it too.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
actually, I was gonna ask, do you think that any of those songs that you'll cut, you will either work into the second maybe full-length album, or you may come back and try to like rewrite or finish, something like that?
You never know.
I think
We always can take ideas.
right. Ideas. I think at most. I think what we really want to do is like with each release, we want it to be fresh. We want it to
Yeah.
be new. We want it to sound different and definitely more mature. And I think in order to do that, you kind of have to let the songs that didn't happen go, and
Yeah.
really just be like, all right, who are we now? What do we want to like put across? I guess.
Playing live, do you guys ever, because you mentioned how you guys are a real live band, which
Yeah.
is the best way to be, definitely. Do you guys ever take songs, all right, like, so they're put down a specific way on All Night Forever. If you're ever playing live, like maybe, you'll just be jamming on it at practice or something, and you find something else that also sounds good with that tune. Do you ever work that in?
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
especially like with ends of songs, we always change the ending of
Yeah.
songs at live, just to, especially if it's like flows better with the set and things
Yeah.
like that. And I know you on drums, you're always
just like the
changing
little
up
things,
drums.
just like fills, stuff like that. Always changing them up, especially live.
Yeah.
That's really, really awesome. Now, how do you guys get your gigs and all that? Do you guys have a manager, or is it all yourselves?
that's
or-
the guy.
I'm the guy. Just talk to like whoever you can, like at shows, and talk to other bands. Like you play with a band, you see they're playing a show at a cool place, you message them like, oh hey, I've always wanted to play there. Any chance you can like get me in contact with the guy?
Right on.
And a lot of times you'll find a promoter that you like really get along with. He likes your sound. And you play a show with him, you really prove to him like, okay, you could play good, you can get a pretty good draw, and they'll always be asking you back for shows and that type of thing. And I think that's what we really try to establish good connections with who we can get, and
course.
hopefully it ends up being a prosperous relationship, I guess.
And there's always the promoters that screw you over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, always
There's
those.
always those. Gotta hang on to the good ones though.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. Definitely, gentlemen. Well, that's really, really awesome. The last question I really have for you guys, I guess, as far as what you guys are doing, is where you guys plan on going next. You mentioned you guys have another 4-track EP that you guys are just starting to work on now. You've got songs lined up for it. Besides that, what else is coming down the pike?
Really just playing wherever we can, seeing what happens. We're really lucky that we live in this age where like we all plan on going to college, but in a time where a lot of times that would really restrict you. I mean, we have like you can write a part, email it to someone like 5 states away, and they write parts, and
It's
it's
awesome.
we plan on, even though we're all at least 3 of us, and he's still in high school, but next year plan on going to colleges in different places. We still plan on writing and playing whenever like breaks and things.
Yeah.
And just keep it going as long as we
Definitely
can
have to, yeah.
until it becomes impossible, I guess.
Yeah, which it really, I guess, never will be as long as you guys have the actual
Right.
drive for it.
Exactly.
Once you find something good, and it's funny because I feel, and something that I've learned from a lot of older bands, in their mid-20s, whatever, that are really doing well, and even bands that have made it big, when you talk to them, a lot of these bands formed when they were like 16, 17,
Right.
and they say that the people that you meet when you're at that age, for whatever reason, you just work the best with. Growing older, getting older.
Exactly. Yeah,
Sometimes it's you guys may get to like college and things may be kind of going kind of like rough, and you may kind of be jamming with other people, but it may not be the same way. And
Right.
It probably won't be. So just keep on going with what you guys are doing. It
Yeah.
sounds like you guys are doing really really well.
Thank
so.
you.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome. And then you guys are gonna come back after the break and play 2 songs for us, right?
2
off
songs.
the
Yeah.
album?
Yes,
One from the album. One actually will probably play for the first time. That's gonna be on the EP coming up.
Okay.
So that'll be kind of a first listen. So.
Okay, cool. What songs are you guys gonna be playing? The titles of?
The Beat Generation is the first one, which is on the album, the opening track, and then we're gonna play. I'm gonna play a song called "Songs from the Gallows," which it'll be on the EP. So.
Excellent. All right, well then we'll be right back with the Taillight Years, Brian, Kevin, and Jacob right after this. This is the title track off their album All Night Forever. This is All Night Forever on WRSE. Awesome, guys. Cool.